In the middle of the Indian Ocean, there's a military fortress so powerful it can shape wars across 3 entire continents. And right now, it's getting very, very busy.
It's a question you really have to ask yourself, because while all of our eyes are glued to the usual hotspots, the real power plays are happening from a place most people couldn't even point to on a map. So check this out. During the latest spike in tensions between Iran and the US, military flight trackers just lit up. Strategic bombers, we're talking the real heavy hitters, were on the move over the Indian Ocean in numbers we've rarely seen. Their flight plans were top secret, their destination a total mystery, but they were all heading in the direction of one specific secret spot. And that spot? It's an island that, for the last 50 years, has been a silent but absolutely decisive player in global conflict. Its name is Diego Garcia. Okay, so on paper, it's part of the British Indian Ocean Territory, but in reality, it hosts a massive joint UK/US military base. This tiny little island is a huge cornerstone of Western military power. It's the kind of place you'd never find on a map, but trust me, every general in the Pentagon knows exactly where it is. And yeah, don't let the location fool you. Forget any ideas you have of a tropical paradise. I mean, sure, it might have been beautiful once upon a time, but today, Diego Garcia is a fortress, plain and simple. Its entire purpose, its whole identity, is defined by the machinery of war. So you gotta ask, why here? Why this tiny little speck of land in the middle of a massive ocean? Well, the answer comes down to something really simple and honestly kind of brilliant. It's geography. You know, military planners have a nickname for it, the unsinkable aircraft carrier. And when you look at it, you totally get why. It sits smack dab in the center of the Indian Ocean, giving it this incredible reach. From this one spot, you can launch operations into the Middle East, Africa, and all across Asia. Plus, it just happens to have this massive, naturally deep harbor that's perfect for warships and submarines. It's the literal definition of a strategic choke point. And the stuff they have built there is just immense. A massive air base for everything from B-52s to stealth bombers. A full-on naval base. Satellite and intelligence hubs running 24/7. It's basically a completely self-contained launchpad, pre-stocked with everything you need for a war, ready to go at a moment's notice. But make no mistake, this base has not just been sitting there collecting dust. For half a century, it's been the quiet launchpad for some of the world's loudest conflicts. Just think back to the major wars of the 21st century. In 2001, right after 9/11, the B-52s that struck the Taliban in Afghanistan, they took off from Diego Garcia. In 2003, during the invasion of Iraq, it was a primary launchpad for daily bombing runs. And more recently, as all those tensions with Iran have been simmering, where do you think the US quietly moved its most advanced assets, like the B-2 stealth bombers? Yup, to this very island. So what's the big idea here? Why use a fixed island base instead of a mobile aircraft carrier? Well, it's simple. It's safer. Sending a multi-billion-dollar aircraft carrier group close to a hostile shore is a huge risk. But flying bombers from a secure, distant, and heavily defended islands, that minimizes the danger and guarantees you can strike when you need to. It's a very calculated, very effective doctrine. But here's the thing. This strategic masterpiece, it wasn't built on empty land. Its foundation is laid on a story of displacement and a lingering injustice that still casts a very long shadow over its military might. See, before it was a fortress, this was part of the Chagos archipelago, and it was home to over 1,000 people. But back in the 1960s, to make way for the base, the entire native population was forcibly removed from their homes, expelled from their own homeland. And that fight is not over, not by a long shot. For decades, the Chagosian people and their descendants have been in this difficult, heartbreaking struggle for just one simple thing, the right to return to the islands they were taken from. And what's wild is that the world's highest legal bodies have actually sided with them. The UN General Assembly, the International Court of Justice, they've both declared the UK's occupation illegal. But as you can see, the UK and the US argue that the base is just too critical for global security. So the rulings, they've been ignored. It's this stark clash between international law and raw geopolitical power. And the island holds other secrets. Beyond all the public military operations, numerous reports have alleged that its isolation made it the perfect spot for the CIA to operate black sites, secret prisons used for interrogating high-value detainees during the War on Terror. Of course, all the official records on these things remain classified. So where does all of this leave us? You might think Diego Garcia is some kind of Cold War relic. Far from it. In the 21st century, its importance is actually set to grow even more. I mean, just look at the world today. As China expands its influence across the Indian Ocean, as tensions with Iran continue to pop up, and as new conflicts erupt around the globe, Diego Garcia remains the one indispensable hub. It's the secure rear base they can use to project power and respond to pretty much any crisis. And they're not just letting it sit there. Oh no. Plans are already underway to upgrade it for the next generation of warfare. We're talking about stationing hypersonic missiles, weapons that travel at over 5 times the speed of sound, along with advanced space intelligence and the newest naval ships. This fortress is being hardened for the conflicts of tomorrow. So, in the end, Diego Garcia is way more than just an island. It's hidden from most of the world's view, but for the global powers, it's that crucial piece on the board, a deadly and cunning pawn that quietly enables the game's biggest and most decisive moves. It's been a key player in the wars of the past, and it's being set up as a launch pad for the wars of the future. The real question is, as the board changes and the stakes get higher, what will its next move be, and who is going to feel its impact?